Hello everybody, this is Informa here, and today, if you don't know how to make a walk cycle, or you want to learn how I do them, you will see here, I guess. So, today I'm just going to be teaching how I do walk cycles through every single step, and taking a bit longer than I usually do, since these walk cycles are easy for me to make. And, well, let's actually get started with this. First up, we're going to take the model, and today we're going to be using Springtrap V8 by Fails. We're going to grab a rig, and then let's use the universal rig. I will put that in the description below and in the comments so you guys can see it, since this is a very useful rig. And then, well, if you know how IK rig, how they work, I'm sorry, I have a stutter, but we're going to be putting that there. Let's make this about 4 seconds, then split the shot. Now, let's see. Let's go to show hidden controls. This is so you can get the arm bones back, because I do not like having to animate arms with IK rigs. So here now we have our arms free again, but they will still have the legs under IK rigs control. Let's start by let's move him a little bit forward. Let's get a basic starting pose for him. Nothing too fancy. Let's grab these two bones, throw them over here. Just make sure they're both facing the same way. Okay. Bear, go away. I apologize if you actually saw that. But now we have him in our basic pose. We're going to be mostly actually, let's animate with the arms moving as well, since why not? Let's move his arms down to a decent pose where the arm. Here's a tip with animating arms. If you want to make it look normal, you want to put the arm, or make the arm that is on the same side as the leg that's behind, like make that arm go forward, and then the one where the leg is forward, make that arm go back, like this. So this is how you can get like a pose for a decent start. And now let's get started with the animating process. Okay, first up we're going to move this foot right here. I usually animate in 30 FPS, so this is, or if you animate in any other FPS, I'm sure you could find a workaround with this. Now we're going to move the foot up like about this much, and slide it a bit like that, and we'll get like a small little curve right there. Move the pelvis as well, and move it up like that. Now you'll have like your first basic part of the step, and then you just repeat, go 3 keyframes if you're animating in 30. And then you can move the pelvis. Then let's move the leg a little more. Let's have it posed like that. Now let's move 3 more keyframes. And now let's move the leg like such. Now we can pose that like around there. 3 more keyframes. Let's tilt it more. Make it like that. Move this a bit forward. Now let's put that foot around here. Move that forward. And then for this we jump 2 keyframes, and this is when the foot hits the ground fully. And then here you have your first basic step. And it has a decent outcome. I might move the pelvis a little more forward. And that's how you get your first step. Now for me, if you animate with spline, you're gonna see a problem if you do something like this and then animate. You might get a slidey look to it, like after a few keyframes. So what I do is after the foot hits the ground, I will set a keyframe there and then one behind it, so it pretty much locks any past movement. Now everything should be lined up. Let's move 3 keyframes, set the foot up like the other one was, and have it set like that. We will move up a tiny bit more, then 3 more keyframes. Do that. Move the pelvis again. Alright, get 3 more keyframes. Now let's move our pelvis a little more forward. 3 more keyframes. I'm going to point that out every single time. Now we got a basic, or foot in a basic position to set it up for another step. Now we're going to have it like that. Don't worry about the weird knee position because now it's all good. Now let's set it up for that step. I'm going to be animating 3 steps in this. So pretty much you'll know where to go after that. Then after we do that, we're going to move that a little bit. And now we have 2 steps. Now let's actually move the foot a bit down there. Well, you can animate this however you want. Make this walk cycle like your own, whatever you want to do. My SFM's lagging a bit, so I can't really tell the exact look of it. Actually, we need to move that up a tiny bit more since it's leaning down. There we go. That might look good. Or decent. Alright, now that we have that in place, we're gonna put 2 keyframes right here to kind of kill the sliding effect. And like, if you want to see what I mean by that, we'll just move that leg like that, and then you'll see like there's a bit of a sliding movement, and we do not want that. And I don't like changing my keyframe modes from spline, so we're going to keep it in spline. Now let's grab our foot again and move it up like so. Going to move our pelvis a bit more. And I know this isn't really a walk cycle, but just a walking animation, since I have never animated a walk cycle that can loop perfectly. Now let's have our foot move up a bit more, and pelvis now. And now let's start with our pelvis and do that. Now we're about to get ready to set up for our next step. We set down the foot again, and we move our pelvis forward as much as we need. And then, there we go, we got 3 steps in our walk cycle. And that didn't take me even that long. But that's how I animate them, and it's really quick for me. This might take you a bit more time since you'll need to look at steps. But you'll get a decent end product. That looks better from the front, honestly. But I know this is not my best walk cycle, and I could have done much better with it, but maybe you can mess with the pelvis a little bit to your liking. Change like the distance between each step as you wish. I don't like that strain right there. Let's make sure the feet stay on the ground at all times. And now we got that. Now for the arm movement section. Now this is not the hard part. Or this is actually no, this is the hard part for me. Now for me, I animate lazily, so now let's set that. Let's move the arm back with the leg going forward, and then as that leg goes forward, we're going to move our arm forward as well. We're going to animate more of the arm as the animation goes on, and we're going to then do the same with the other arm. Now we're just going to keep repeating this for the whole walk cycle. Okay, there we go. Now what I do, because I'm weird, I will move this arm forward to kind of get that jiggly kind of feel to it, kind of like with some physics or whatever. I don't know what you'd want to call that. And let's correct that. Kind of just how it like goes backward a bit. It's not working too well because of the lag that I'm getting. Now we'll just animate the hand. And animate it as so. Or this is how I animate. This is proof that I'm a very lazy animator, but apparently my end product on stuff looks fine, or fine to people. Oh, I do not like how that kind of freezes there. It's because of this up here, I think. Okay, that does look a bit weird, but let's move that a little bit. Okay, I'm sorry if that does not look great, but okay. There we go, we have that arm animated. Now let's just animate this one real quick, just so we can kind of get a feel for this. Alright, let's keep moving our arm forward. And there we go, that's that part of the arm animated. Now let's make sure we know which way the arm is going. Now let's move it back a bit. Back forward. Now let's move our hand. Alright, there we go. That should be both arms animated now. Might be a bit awkward. Yeah, it's really awkward. So we're gonna mess with how high that arm goes, because that is not how you want to look when you're walking. Alright, let's move that down here. Okay, yeah, that's really weird. Alright, let's give that a look from the front side. Or actually, let's look at it from this side. That's okay. You animate the arms how you want to. This is just how I do it for walking. Now let's animate the torso, because why not? I move it up. I usually like to move it down when the leg is bent like that. And when the foot goes forward, I animate it going up a bit and then down. Okay, down, up, down, up. And then that's how I usually do my torso movement. See how it looks from the side? Because that's where it's most visible. And then the head is pretty much up to you. So I'm just going to do some random stuff here. Alright. And there we go. Now we got some weird head movement, but the rest of the body seems to be fine. And that is the long and short of how I animate my walk cycles, though it's not as good as my other ones because the arm movements at times can be stiff. But I'm sure you can mess with that and make it how you like it to be. And one final look from the back just to see how it looks. It looks alright. And that's how I animate walk cycles. I hope this helped you in the slightest way. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video whenever it's uploaded.